Hey guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com here with my review and an install of the Eibach Pro Street Coilover Kit, available for all 79 to 04 Mustangs, except those with IRS of course. In this video we're going to go over a few different topics with this coilover kit, but mostly we're going to talk about the performance abilities of this kit and the install. I'm going to cover the install in more detail later, but I'll tell you right now that this install is straightforward, but it is a little bit of work, so I'm going to call it a 2 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter. The Eibach Pro Street Coilovers are going to be for the Mustang owners out there that are looking to get away from the fixed drop of a lowering spring, and for someone that's looking for more of a basic coilover kit. There are a couple options out there when it comes to coilovers and the adjustability that they offer, and this kit offers height adjustability. Even being more of a basic kit, a set of coilovers like this one is going to have a big impact on handling. If we look at coilovers compared to lowering springs, just know that we aren't comparing apples to apples. Typically, a lowering spring is going to be best for someone that's looking to simply lower their car and doesn't mind a stiffer ride. The spring rate in a lowering spring is not going to be as aggressive as in a coilover because they're mostly designed to be used with the stock shocks and struts. Coilovers like these, on the other hand, come with shocks and struts that are set to take the abuse of a lowered car, and these are going to be designed to work with the coilover spring rates. If we look right into this kit right away, we're going to be talking about height adjustability, which I think is one of the biggest pluses when choosing a coilover setup as opposed to the traditional aftermarket static spring setup. We're going to see that coilovers offer a fully customizable range of height adjustment. This kit offers a drop for the front and rear of the car that'll allow you to lower the car up to 2.5 inches. This means that you can set your ride height anywhere in the range of adjustment depending on what you're looking for. This kit gives you height adjustability. The compression and rebound on the shocks and struts are already predetermined for you, which is what makes this more of a basic kit. The shocks are monotube shocks, and they also come with spherical upper bushing mounts, which are going to be more performance-based in your factory setup, and they're going to function better with the coilovers. So this kit is going to include 2 front strut assemblies, 2 rear shocks, 2 rear springs, helper springs, and your adjustment tool. Your adjustment tool is going to be your way to adjust your coilover height, which you can see your threads right here in the actual strut body. Now this is better than your other type of coilover, where you literally need to turn a spring perch to compress the spring against the top hat in order to change ride height. The problem with this is that it puts preload on the springs, and you're already setting yourself up to lose some handling performance. So this is a better design because you're actually expanding or compressing the length of the coilover itself. This isn't going to change the compression of the spring, and it's a better way to adjust height. Getting into some more of the specifics about the construction here, other than the fully threaded body, you're looking at stainless steel. The springs are linear springs, which give you nice handling performance, and the springs are designed for the abuse of the coilover. And of course, these have a factory-style bracket, which makes these a direct replacement and a direct bolt-on. When we start to look at price, you're going to notice that this kit is one of the less expensive options when you look at coilovers. It has a price tag that's very close to the $1,500 mark. Now you do have some other options when it comes to coilover kits, and they do offer different things, so just make sure that you guys check them out and get what you're looking for. This is a bolt-on kit, guys, and it'll work for both coupe and convertible models. There's no permanent modification necessary, but there is a fair amount of work involved with the install, a few hours or so. So I'll call this a 2 out of 3 wrenches on our scale when we look at overall difficulty. The work is straightforward, and ultimately you're going to need a decent socket set, jack and jack stands, or a lift to get the job done. And again, it's nothing too hard, but just a little time consuming. You have to break down everything like your calipers and rotors and get your old shock and strut and spring setup out. Then you've got to get your new setup in, and don't forget, you might need a little extra time to get the ride height dialed into your liking. You may end up having to do a few adjustments to get the car to be where you want it to be, and then you have to make sure it's even on each side. You're going to want to make sure that you're setting it up for whatever you plan on doing for your car and for the performance that you want out of it, whether it be a drag strip, a cornering beast, or just a low car in general. And keep in mind that after tweaking this much of your car's suspension and ride height, you're probably going to need a good alignment to make sure everything's good and in spec. Okay, so overall, the Eibach Pro Street Coilover Kit is a high-quality kit that's going to offer a lot of room to adjust ride height. Its design means adjustment on the strut tubes themselves, which is superior to other methods, and offers a wide range of adjustment. But as always, don't just take my word for it, especially when it comes to something of this nature. I always encourage you to check it out more online for yourself and look at your other options out there. I'm Stephanie, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.